the boys that
Yeah.
that Jonathan does, I think we as a group feel was more important.
Janice, have they always received that same amount
Yes.
each year? Why
Yes.
was that amount?
12,000
Yeah,
every
it's a
year for
big
many
chunk of money.
years. Yeah, they
Yes.
sent a big chunk down there. So that might be one place we could cut back. And if we're going to do that, we should do it as soon as possible, so that that CODEB knows in advance, and they might be able to find someone, other group that could fill in that sum that we cut out.
I've been a member of the OGIFA Ometepe-Gulf Islands Friendship Association for 14 years. For 10 of those, I was treasurer, and the last 3 I've been vice president. And I've somehow kind of slipped into being an amateur designer and do the labels and any signs that we need, or any kind of artwork that can be done on a computer. That's fun for me. My husband and I became involved with OGIFA after we lived on Salt Spring for a number of years and had been drinking this delicious coffee for a while. The group that we belonged to, Tools for Peace, and then CASC, the Central American Support Committee, both had sort of dissolved, weren't functioning much anymore. So we decided that we would put our efforts into working with the OGIFA people. When Brian and I joined the group in the mid-90s, they'd had their nonprofit status for about 10 years and had been raising funds, or had been accumulating funds in various ways, and they had finally started purchasing green coffee beans from the farmers on Ometepe Island, but didn't have a lot of funds, so they were having to purchase them in small lots, and this meant driving to Bainbridge Island in Washington to pick up a couple of bags of beans from a sister organization who was also working and helping out the people of Ometepe Island. And so every couple of months there would be somebody drive down, pick up a couple of bags of 150-pound bags of green beans, and then drive them back across the border. I think we should be really grateful that we're not having to do that now, considering the fear and suspicion that we're living with these days. When this particular group got started, they were working very closely with the group on Bainbridge Island, BOSIA, that's Bainbridge Ometepe Sister Island Association, and knew the people in BOSIA and vice versa. And now that we're not having to make these regular trips to pick up the green beans or work with them on projects, which we did in the past, we've kind of lost touch with them, which in a way is a shame, because it was one of the nice things about this particular group, in that we had a connection to another country and a third one involved with us. When I assumed the position of treasurer in 1996, the group was still financially on a rocky basis, and because we weren't supporting any projects on other than just a temporary basis, nobody expected any particular sum each year, I suggested that we not make any donations for a year to accumulate enough funds that we would be able to buy a year's supply of green beans all at once. And doing that, we no longer had to borrow money from the members, so there was no interest payments, and we were able to save the funds of driving back and forth as well. And along with a sudden interest in our coffee, it seemed to change suddenly. Our income increased. Once we were able to buy the beans a whole year's supply at a time, we just started to really go from there, and we're doing extremely well. Good times. We have eventually ended up with a roaster who stored our beans for very little and roasted our beans at a lower cost, I think, I'm pretty sure, than for any other group. They basically are supporting us That's serious coffee out of Duncan, and we're very, very grateful to them for all of their help. We have at times been able to donate as much as $35,000, $40,000 to our projects. We have 4 main projects and a 5th one that it's the only one for which we have any assistance. We're partnered with an NGO in Vancouver called Co-Development Canada, and they match the funds that we donate to a microbank. Our other 4 projects are ones that we know the coordinator on the ground. We know that this person is a volunteer, so that all of the funds that we donate go directly to the project. There's nothing for administration. And this is sort of an unwritten law with us. We really like to arrange that type of project. As long as OGIFA is in existence and I'm alive and capable, I will be a part of it.